What up? It's at St. Lauren 57. Sober, celibate, saved. And yeah, obviously still in bed. I did get up. I was productive. I had a chore to do, a meeting to get to, but also I took this day to relax. None of my roommates are here, so I'm taking advantage of the light being able to be off all day, not having to wear my headphones so I can watch my flat screen, watch my first 48 show, so I'm just kind of relaxing, whatever. But some things are really difficult. I've had a whole entirely different life before. Some of it was good, some of it was bad, some of it was productive, some of it was unproductive, some of it, but I definitely miss spending my summer days by the water of some sort, either alone with my kids or with somebody who is non-existent anymore. But so there are times where I'm not lonely though. I'm really glad that I'm using this time to rebuild my self-esteem and my self-worth. I think I've always been a very confident person, but I most definitely had a very low self-esteem and it's like I probably had a more decent self-worth, but I definitely had a low self-esteem. And the thing I understand about self-esteem is that it means that everybody's actions have power over how I feel about myself. And I put way too much power in other people. And I most definitely put way too much of me into my last relationship. And it's hard when you feel like it's the one and they're your soulmate and this, that. And even as I'm laying here, I'm scrolling, right? And I'm just like, there's so much music. I cannot, my whole life is different because I had to change it. Because there's so much of my old life I can't even entertain anymore. There's so much music I can't listen to. There's so many activities I don't want to do. I try to get back into my coloring and I'm having a really hard time to do that. I literally had to change my whole entire life because so much is attached into an old relationship that just is non-existent and really still healing from the heartbreak. But I still find joy, and I'm in accepting of where my life is now and just doing the best thing to keep myself safe, keep myself healthy, and stay positive for the future. And I was having a conversation earlier today, right, about someone asked me oh, are you lonely or something? And I was like, no, I'm absolutely not lonely. I'm not. I think I'm just so used to being alone. But I think it's because I do a lot right now. I have a lot of programming I do. I'm constantly living in a community. So there is hardly ever any me time. I'm constantly in some sort of fellowship. I'm constantly in some sort of crowd or something, I'm constantly in conversation. So there's really no time to be lonely. Of course, I miss my children. That's a huge part of my old life that I miss. But it's I'm really, I had to change, whether it's because like I said, everything, either it left me, it was taken from me, or I just lost it. And that's where I'm at in my life right now. But it's a blessing in disguise because as hard as it is, and as heartbreaking as it feels sometimes, I can't go anywhere. I can't go anywhere but up from here. You know what I'm saying? I already, I'm at the point where nothing can bring me down. Nothing can take me lower than where I was at. as long as I have God in my life and I'm learning to just acclimating to rebuilding, I get a lot of love where I'm at. I have amazing women that I've met here. I have amazing friends and mentors, in my church family. And I have like some really great staff members that are, are very close to me. And so I have a lot of people. I have a lot of people that pour a lot of love into me, actually, like a lot. And I really, what's crazy is, like, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to be killing myself, like, slowly by exhausting all options to try to feel loved. Like, I don't have to do anything but be myself. I just show up. I come exactly as I am. Like, I don't really put much work into my appearance these days. I don't, unless it's a job interview or something. Because I put so much of my worth into so many unhealthy things. And at the end of the day, it still got me left. It still got me disrespected. It still got me forgotten, abandoned, cheated on, lied to, disrespected. Like, I put so much of my worth and my time and my heart into things that it didn't matter. And I was killing myself slowly because I just was so emotionally, like, attached to things. And I was like, I put so much of me in things. And this is what I learned too. Like, I'm not having a bad day. I'm not sad. I'm not, I'm taking advantage of the time I have, because I am truly blessed. And there's not many, honestly, there's really not many days like this that I have, I'm always up and involved in something and doing something. So, but the one thing I realized is this is exactly why, like, for example, I was watching First 48, and there's this 15-year-old girl and this 16-year-old boy, and obviously there's a murder, blah, blah, but as they're talking, and, they basically, like, set some guy up. This guy's using this girl to line up guys so he could pull licks and whatever, right? But it's crazy how, like, the youth refers to, like, oh, yeah, I used to talk to her. And it's just sad, like, as generations have gone on, and there's so much dysfunction in relationships, right? Because I feel like a lot of us have grown up with watching unhealthy relationships. And it's rare that you get to see people court each other and date each other and really build together and love each other and really take a vow of, their marriage vows, like, seriously. Like, it's very rare to actually ever see a healthy relationship. And as I was watching that First 48 episode, I'm like, that's so sad that, like, people don't even communicate in a way to where it's like, oh yeah, I just talked to her. Like, and it just made me think about generationally how, like, relationships have just, like, what we grow up watching, and, when we are left to our own devices, like, how we engage in relationships, and how, like, especially if we've ever been abused or domestic violence or trauma, and how, like, if we don't know what we're doing wrong, and we get into a relationship and things just start, like, falling apart, right? But I think too, it's just crazy how, like, people don't know how to communicate. And it's crazy how it just, Nobody takes their time. But it's like, I never took my time. You know? But once I knew, I knew. But that took years of maturing and years of growing. But at the same time, I didn't take my time. And had I taken my time, you know, I probably would have disengaged myself from certain relationships so that they didn't go any further. And I wouldn't have made decisions that made me inevitably tied to these people, whether it's emotionally or due to, you know, like a bond of some sort. But yeah, so I was talking to my friends here, and she's like, yeah, and I told her, like, nah, I'm not lonely, no, like, and I told her, I was like, I just, for one, I'm still, like, just so heartbroken. So much of me is just gone. Like, it's not gone, but it's going to take a lot to repair, right? Like, to move to completely, wholeheartedly get to the point where I can move the fuck on. Move the fuck on and not think about it. And just, like, completely diminish that attachment, you know? But I was telling her, like, people are, like, here's the thing. When I was younger, I did a lot of partying when I was younger, right? Then when I got to, like, my late teen, early 20s, and even to, like, I did a lot of things. Like, I was, meeting people and, whatever. So I've had my fun. I've been there. I've done that. I said, but you know what I have yet to have? I've yet to find a committed man. I have yet to find a good man who, like, I have yet to find somebody, like, that's what I haven't had. Like, I don't care to, like, I'm not scared of commitment. I don't, if I told her, I was like, I really don't need people. Like, I am very particular about where and how I spend my time. Like, I do not have to be with people. I do not need to click up and go do things and spend every last minute, like, with friends or whatever, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't need to find distractions right now. Like, I don't need things to distract me. I don't need to go out there and try to be cute and, like, I don't know. Because I spent so much of my life, putting my worth and my esteem in other people, in activities, and things I did, things I wore, places I went, being the entertainment for a man, trying to be all the things for a man so that, I would finally get picked. So I would finally be chosen. So somebody would finally man up and, I don't know, and not even just take care of me, like, in a monetary way. Like, I know how to work. I do not need to be, you know what I'm saying? That is not what this is about. I do not need someone to, but shit. I have not found a man that, like, loves me. Puts, like, someone also said too, there's always a chaser and a runner. I definitely spent way too much of my time chasing, hoping that, be like, pick me, some man protect me, some man work and put money into this house, into this home, somebody choose to spend time with me, somebody call me in the morning, somebody put me to bed, like, somebody celebrate my birthday, somebody celebrate Mother's Day for me, like, celebrate fucking Valentine's Day. What the fuck is that? But I've always celebrated somebody in one way or another. Taken care of somebody in one way or another. Did my part in one way or another. And, yeah, too much chasing. Too much energy. And it's not all ever, it's not, and that's the thing is, like, it's not even anybody else's fault. It's my fault. You know, I didn't know how unhealthy I was. I didn't know how, like I said, I did not know that I was putting so much of my esteem in other people. Like, I put so much power in other people. It made me weak. It made me weak because I gave everybody else the power over me. Like, how I felt, you know, and really my emotions are really the biggest thing that I give to other people. And it hurt me so bad, and it was so dysfunctional. But, I don't know, I don't care about that right now. Like, I just care about fixing my credit, paying off my eviction, graduating from St. John's, maintaining a job so that I can, you know, move to the next levels of this program at St. John's. I care about rebuilding the relationship with my kids. And I care about my health. I care about my, you know, my well-being. And so, you know, I spent way too much time distracting myself and putting way too much, you know. I just was hoping that I could have a man to be part of my identity, and it just didn't, you know. And it's not even like one of those petty situations. Like, I do bad all by myself. Duh. But that's not the point. I don't want to be by myself. But I for sure will. I will stay by myself before I... You know, it's too early. It's too early to engage in anything. It's way too early. Because recovery is fresh. And, literally, I'm just not even where I want to be to... Like, you know how long it took me? Let's see. I was my son's dad when I was 22. It took me 10 years to find a man that I could give all of myself to. And it took me 10 years to get to a place where I could have that relationship, that like that bond with someone. It took 10 years to find somebody. And it didn't take very much for it to fucking fall apart. And I really spent probably majority of that relationship chasing because it just felt so amazing to check all of those boxes. But like I said, I put a lot of my esteem in that person, and when things started falling apart, I was falling apart. I completely let myself fall apart because I just wasn't strong enough, you know. And so it's way too early. It's way too early to engage in anything, you know. Like, this time is really about me. For the first time in my life, I'm making the choice to make it about me in a healthy way, and about what I really want and what I really need. And what I really need is to get back up on my feet. What I really need is to take care of my health. What I really need is to be a healthier mom for my kids. What I really need is to put the power in me. You know, I gotta I really have to take this time to rebuild my life. So I don't have to worry, because if I put the power in the right place between God and me, like, and just doing what I'm supposed to do, like, my foundation won't collapse. Like, it won't fall apart because I'm a solid individual. And when I'm not emotionally compromised, I stay solid. When I'm emotionally compromised by a man breaking my heart, then it's a very ugly thing because I put way too much. I've put way too much, and and that's my fault. It's my fault that, I just wasn't strong enough to know that I have to keep it all. I have to keep, you know what I'm saying? Patience in God. God should have been where I should have been putting all my love at. God should have been where I've been putting all my attention. God should have been where I put my free time. I should have built a relationship with God before, and I would have been guided in my life a lot better and a lot healthier than what I was doing, because everything I did didn't work. It just wasn't meant to be. It didn't work, and it was unhealthy. So for any woman or any man, anybody struggling, I'm right there with you. But you got to take your life back. And heartbreak is hard. Heartbreak is horrible. And heartbreak is just like, the worst thing, because who doesn't want to just find their person and live their best life? Like, it's that simple for me, but it can be done, but it probably won't be done right if we don't put God first. So that's in Number 57. Be safe, be kind.